You know the sound. It usually happens at 10:01 a.m. on a rainy Saturday, God forbid, 20 minutes into a 4-hour car ride. It starts low, like a tornado siren, and then it hits you. Dad, I'm bored. It triggers something visceral, doesn't it? A little spike of panic right in the chest. We feel like we're failing. We feel like, and I love this analogy, we are the cruise directors of the Titanic, frantically shuffling deck chairs to keep the passengers entertained so they don't notice the ship is sinking. So, what do? We panic. We hand over the iPad. We turn on the TV. We offer up a dopamine lollipop just to silence the whining. But, and I need you to lean in for this part, what if I told you that by killing their boredom, we are accidentally killing their creativity? We need to talk about the default mode deficit, because we have removed the empty space from our kids' lives, and their brains are actually paying the price. Okay, let's get nerdy for a second. But fun nerdy. For a long time, scientists thought that when you stopped focusing on a task, like doing math or reading, your brain just went to sleep, like a computer going into saver mode. They were wrong. In 2001, neuroscientists found out that when the brain is at rest, staring out the window, daydreaming, being bored, a massive neural network lights up like a Christmas tree. They call it the default mode network, or DMN. Think of the DMN as your child's internal CEO. When the workers, that's the focus and attention part of the brain, go on a coffee break, the CEO steps into the office to do the big picture stuff. The CEO asks, "What happened today and where do I file that memory? How did I feel when Tommy was mean to me at recess? What happens if I try to build a spaceship out of these cushions?" This is crucial. The DMN is the only time your child's brain connects disparate ideas. It's where self-identity is built. Here is the problem. These things, the high dopamine screens, the YouTube autoplay, the fast-paced games, they forcefully suppress the DMN. They keep the brain in reaction mode. It's constant input. Flash, noise, reward. Flash, noise, reward. If a child is constantly entertained, the CEO never gets to come into the office. The files never get sorted. The emotions never get processed. We are basically training them to be data processors, not architects. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds great, but have you heard my child whine? It's weaponized annoyance. I get it. Boredom feels like a problem to be solved. But it's actually a physiological state of seeking stimulation. And how your child solves that problem matters. If you're the parent of a creative kid, the one you want writing songs or building forts, that innovation only happens in the DMN. Dr. Sandy Mann calls boredom the incubator of creativity. When you refuse to hand them the iPad, you force their brain to generate its own dopamine. You force them to invent a game. And if you're a parent of a neurodiverse kid or a kid with ADHD, I know this is harder. Their brains are starved for dopamine. The instinct is to give them the screen because it's a cheap, fast fix. But that creates a tolerance loop, allowing them to be bored, even if it is painful for 10 minutes, helps reset their dopamine baseline. It teaches the brain that it can survive without a digital IV drip. It builds psychological calluses. It makes them resilient. So, how do we do this without causing a riot? You can't just rip the iPad away and say, "Go stare at a wall." That's just cruel. You need a bridge. We call this constructive boredom. Next time they hit you with the "I'm borrrrred," do not offer a solution. Do not suggest a game. Do not turn on the TV. Instead, offer a constraint. Say this: "I know you're bored. That's actually great. It means your brain is about to have a really good idea." Then, give them the constraints. You can do anything you want, but you have to use these 3 things, and you hand them a cardboard box, a marker, and a wooden spoon, or the couch cushions and a flashlight. And then, this is the hardest part, so listen close. You leave the room. Walk away. Go fold laundry. Hide in the bathroom. Because if you stay, you become the entertainment. You become the audience. By leaving, you force that default mode network to kick in. They might whine for 5 minutes. It will be loud. You will want to cave. Don't, because at minute 6, the spoon becomes a microphone. The box becomes a stage. The boredom beast gets tamed, and they did it themselves. If you're the parent of a creative kid, the one you want writing songs or building forts, that innovation only happens in the DMN. Dr. Sandyman calls boredom the incubator of creativity. When you refuse to hand them the iPad, you force their brain to generate its own dopamine. You force them to invent a game. And if you're a parent of a neurodiverse kid or a kid with ADHD, I know this is harder. Their brains are starved for dopamine. The instinct is to give them the screen because it's a cheap, fast fix. But that creates a tolerance loop, allowing them to be bored, even if it is painful for 10 minutes, helps reset their dopamine baseline. It teaches the brain that it can survive without a digital IV drip. It builds psychological calluses. It makes them resilient. It's about moving them from consumption to creation. It's about giving the CEO time to work. So, let them be bored. Let them sit in it. It's not bad parenting. It's brain building. If you've tried this, or if you're terrified to try this, drop a comment below. I want to hear your war stories. And if you want more tools to help turn that screen time into creative time, hit that subscribe button. Good luck out there. You've got this. You know the sound. It usually happens at 10 a.m. on a rainy Saturday.